And hello, welcome back to the Gay Racing Podcast. Happy Pride Month to all of our little gay listeners out there, which, well, I guess it's not most of you. We have a lot of ally friends that listen, but
I'd say it is most of you, though.
I don't know. That's an interesting question, actually. How many of you are gay or queer or LGBT?
We did do the off-season survey, and I think it was like 90% were like LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
As you can see, Zach and I, if you're on YouTube, we are wearing the same shirt.
Oh my gosh.
In case you missed it, 2311 sent us some Pride-themed gear. We did a box opening video on the YouTube channel. That was so fun, Zach.
That's so cool. What a cool opportunity. Like I posted it to my like real life socials, and I don't know, because I was like flexing, like a NASCAR team sent me this, and we talked about it in the video. It's just so cool that a NASCAR team sent us that. Like a NASCAR team is like giving us a little like Pride gift package. It was so cool. Check it out. I had fun making that video, like editing it. So
you did a really good job with that. Yeah, really cool that a NASCAR team like recognizes like, hey, you exist. And they also sent this shirt to some others. I saw Alanis King got one. I'm sure some others got one that I didn't see.
Yeah,
but
I think they
really
did it
cool.
last year. Well, I know NASCAR. I feel like NASCAR themselves did it last year even, but I don't know if they did it this year. I don't think so. I mean, we're cheering for an infield logo. It's 2019 again. We're cheering for the littlest things, it feels like. I mean, it's cool.
So, Zach, a few years ago, we were asked by our friend Jackson Todd, like, when do you guys think we'll actually get Pride acknowledged in racing? And something you and I said was like, well, it'd be pretty cool if we got like a logo like in the grass or like painted on the track somewhere. And we got that now. And I believe outside of like a sign at Portland, this is like the first time at the track we're seeing something for Pride. And that's
might have been something else somewhere, but
yeah, something small.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was joking. Like, it is cool. You can imagine the comments from anybody that's like sitting in the stands and they see that. They're like, oh, NASCAR's going woke or whatever. It's just interesting, though, that NASCAR has been weirdly quiet because they didn't say anything on their social media, right? But on LinkedIn, the gays at LinkedIn need to know that we accept them.
The thing so about weird. LinkedIn is I think it is probably professionally and, in the corporate world, a good thing still to be like, hey, we like gay people. So I think that's why they did it there, but it's still just kind of like,
you have to say it quiet.
Why are you afraid to get all the hate you would get? If you're going to be supportive, you should do it loudly and proudly. And I think doing it at the track in the grass, that is more of a loud statement than anything you could post on like Twitter.
That's true. Because
your diehard fans are going to that event and they'll see that at the track. But I think on social media, it's still, in my opinion, would have been nice. But
it's smart in a way. It's smart in a way, just because with the climate, like you almost, it's like NASCAR needs to keep themselves in the closet. If that's
kind of what LinkedIn was. Yeah.
If that's your situation and it's the smart thing to do, it's just a little disappointing still. But I mean, I guess it could be worse. Could it? I don't know. It could be worse. So Alex and I are staying very busy during Pride Month, of course. So if you saw our 2311 video, that's out. So on Tuesday this week, when this episode comes out, we have a very cool episode with a really cool guest. Are we saying who the guest is, or
go for it?
So we got to talk with professional sim racer Nate Stewart. He races in the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series, and he is LGBT. He is pansexual. We talked about, how that kind of ties in his identity, tying into what he does professionally, the iRacing community, what being gay and that is like, because I kind of talk about my experience too. And then we also just talked about his iRacing stuff, because I'm really into iRacing. It was a really cool conversation we got to have with Nate.
It was a great conversation.
It was an awesome episode. So that will be out. It might even be out now, so just go check, but it will be the next episode after this one. So check it.
Yeah, the plan is Tuesday, June 10th. So
Yep.
if it's past that, it is out everywhere on the podcast.
Now, if you're one of our
platforms and YouTube.
diehards that are listening to this Monday night, yeah, girl, you're going to have to wait unless you're a Patreon member, because our Patreon members they've been listening to that Nate Stewart episode since Wednesday. They got it early. So
Yep.
if you don't want to
And
wait,
then
we got another one coming later this week that's going to be on Patreon. Another new
one more little promo thing. The next guest episode will be getting announced again once this episode is uploaded. We're going to try doing that every week this month.
Oh, like on Patreon? Yeah.
Yep. For Patreon members.
They can send in questions, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Period.
So let's talk about the NASCAR race at Michigan, and what a race.
I'm glad these IndyCar guys got to take a week off. Like,
oh, thank God.
I
needed a day. I needed a break.
The month of May is really busy for IndyCar. I'm glad. I mean, they haven't had a break since like April, so I'm glad IndyCar got to have the week off and we got to focus on NASCAR at Michigan because it was a really cool race. I thought it was one of the better races this year. Really compelling, and we had no idea who was going to win that race until Denny crossed the checkered flag. I mean,
can I just say, Michigan was never an interesting. Like, it was always interesting with the fuel mileage stuff, but it was never like this was the best race of the year discussion race.
Well,
a lot of people are saying this is the best race of the year.
Pre-repave, Michigan was one of the better tracks. I mean, I remember seeing a nationwide race at Michigan in 2009. It was it was kind of like Fontana. It used to be a lot like Fontana. I wonder if, as the track ages, if it will get closer and closer to being like Fontana again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, since Fontana's gone, that would be great, but the banking's different and the weather's different, so we'll see. But Michigan, obviously the next gen car has just raced pretty good here. It's a really interesting type of racing. Reminds me a lot of IndyCar. IndyCar was off this week, but we watched like an IndyCar race in NASCAR. It felt like it was really cool. We're talking about fuel mileage, and the race got to play out, and the passing is kind of aggressive. Like, you're pulling all the way down to the inside.
Yeah.
It was a really fun race, honestly. And yeah.
You mentioned Fontana. We don't have Fontana anymore. Michigan is the only track like this on the schedule. A big, intermediate that's not a Daytona or Talladega.
It ain't on the schedule. What are you talking about? Not Fontana. Where is it on the schedule?
Well, our Patreon member Dirt said this race was so good. He said, while I've been a big proponent of tracks only having one race, Michigan deserves 2 dates again. It is the only track of its kind now that we don't have Fontana. The racing product was undeniably great. What do we think of Michigan getting a second date?
Whoa. Hold the hell up. No. Because here's the thing. Michigan in June, the vibes are great. It's Pride Month. Dale Jr. won at Michigan twice in June. Kyle Larson, when he won in the car scheme. I love Michigan in June. Michigan in August. Because a second Michigan date, well, most tracks, if you have a second date, it's probably going to be a playoff race. Now, wait a minute. Okay, wait. I just talked myself into this idea. That would be a kind of good play. I'm not a fan of all these tracks getting 2 dates, though.
So here's my thing. Michigan had a packed crowd.
Yeah.
I don't remember Michigan having that kind of crowd in a long time.
Go back to our Kansas episode. Like, we talked about attendance, and Kansas has 2 dates. And I'm not saying that Kansas doesn't deserve 2 dates. It's one of the best tracks on the schedule. But I think sometimes less is more with NASCAR.
And although it is disappointing that this is the only track like this on the schedule, it'd be nice if we still had Fontana. In hindsight, I'm sure NASCAR wishes they still did too. But Michigan feels like a much more special race now. And probably for fans attending that race too, it's like, oh, this is our one shot to go here. We're all going to go. And if it's going to be a good race with this car, I don't see a reason for it to get a second date, because then I doubt they would put it in the playoffs because it is pretty far in the north. It's going to be kind of more cool.
Yeah, that's another issue. And that's why the original dates, when they had 2 dates, were so close.
And I hated that. It was like, oh, we're back in Michigan in the end. Michigan and Pocono, when they have both had 2 dates, they're both like, oh, 6 weeks apart. We're back in Michigan. We're back in Pocono.
Yeah. It's just not.
I understand what you're saying, Dirt, but no.
I heavily disagree. I think of all the tracks that have 2 dates right now, and I'm like, I feel like people just get sick of the racing, where one of those races always gets negative reception. And
right,
like even Darlington in Kansas, and it's I don't know if it's the car's fault, but I think it's just having 2 races at the same track. It's just less is more, dude. Like, keep us wanting more. That's what you need to do with racing. That's what, IndyCar's kind of on the other end of the spectrum where they don't have enough racing. Sometimes I feel like NASCAR has too much racing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, we could have more weeks off. I think that would be fine. Get your fans hungry again to, like, the Olympic break got fans hungry again to watch NASCAR again, right? So,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Let's talk more about the race. It ended in fuel mileage, which I loved. We don't get those that often.
I hate when people complain about fuel mileage, by the way, because I don't know who's going to win that race until the final lap. That's why I like fuel mileage.
Yeah.
There's nothing predictable about it. And I guess it's kind of boring, but, we'll talk about later. Like, the broadcast did not make it boring.
Well, that's the thing, that when you have a good broadcast, the broadcast made it feel so interesting.
Kind of like the Brickyard last year. Like, it just made it really intense. Well,
we can talk about the broadcast real quick, because we were texting during the race, like Adam Alexander calling a Michigan race again. It's like, oh my gosh, we're kids again.
There's a party in Junior Nation tonight, 2012. That's a core memory. Oh my gosh. Dale Jr. I need that diecast.
Not just Adam Alexander, though. Like, just the race in general felt like a 2009 Michigan race. Literally, how the race ended.
God.
And of course, one of the few guys who was still racing back then, Denny Hamlin, is the one who came out on top. I think that was very fitting.
Meanwhile, Carson Hocevar was 7 years old, watching the race. Probably he was probably watching the race on TV. It's
probably
that's crazy. Well, and that is cool that Denny. I love how you bring that up, because Denny winning this race is just so typical. Like, Denny has been so on it, and I don't think he gets enough credit for how competitive he is after 700 starts.
He is now the 10th driver ever to win a race after his 700 start.
Like, this is so impressive. And it's something that it almost frustrates me, because I think it's going to get glossed over because he doesn't have a championship.
I hope he gets one, personally.
That's the thing, though. It's like we're talking about NASCAR championships in 2025. Like, whatever that means, because that's not really indicative of Denny Hamlin's performance.
No.
Even if he did win the championship, the fact that this is like at least his 3rd year in a row getting 3 straight wins.
I think half of his career he's gotten 3+ wins, and you know what I mean, like 3+ wins in a season. He's probably done that half of his career.
Like, he's had some off years, like 2018, I think, but he's very consistently able to win his entire career, and it shows with his win count, with the fact that he's winning at start 700. When he got out of the car yesterday. And obviously Denny's like getting up there in age, but I looked at him and I'm like, God, he's old. Like, he wasn't running around like Ross Chastain being like, yeah, I won this race. He was like out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
Like, physically, I could just tell he's worn out. He just did a race as a 45-year-old, 44-year-old. It's like, he's old. And we don't know. We said this after Martinsville and Darlington. Is this it?
You never know.
You never know. We never knew with Truex. We never knew with Harvick. This could be it.
Well,
but the thing with Hamlin is he keeps getting those wins.
And Denny said on the post race, they asked him, like, well, are you going to get like 3 more wins this year? And he's like, I don't know, because it's so hard to win in the series.
Oh yeah.
And especially when you're at your level, his age, you might have a dip out all of a sudden. I don't think that's going to happen, though. This is now Denny Hamlin's 57th career Cup win. Remember, his goal is 60. He's now only 3 away from that.
He's 3 away. And 19 years of wins. Like, 19 years of like, his first win was 19 years ago. He's coming up on that 20th anniversary next year. Year might, honestly, I feel like next year might be it. Like, I think he might have 1 more year left in him. I think 2026.
Wouldn't it be crazy? It took Dale Earnhardt 20 years to win the Daytona 500.
20 years of trying to win the championship?
It took 20 years to win the championship?
And that might be a record for,
like, cool.
I don't know.
It might be.
How many drivers have won a championship in their 20th season? I don't know. But Hamlin, 57th win. He's only 3 wins behind Kevin Harvick for 10th most all time. And he's 6th behind Kyle Busch. One more thing. Like one of my favorite things about Mike Joy is he used to call, like, when Jimmy Johnson was winning, he would call his career number win. Like, win number 57 for Jimmy Johnson. I wish they would do that more, like when Denny Hamlin wins. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, when he gets number 60, I really hope they do that.
Especially because he's made a big deal about it.
Yes. I love that's one of my favorite commentator things, because I don't think Adam did it yesterday. But it's whatever.
Yeah. Hamlin joins Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell as 3-time winners in this season. They are the only 3 with 3 wins each.
It's 9 races. That's 9 wins of like 15 races. That doesn't feel like that doesn't feel true though. It doesn't feel like we have like 3 guys that have. So like, is that our big 3? Because it's not.
I guess so. It doesn't feel
not,
like
though.
it because Bell. I feel like Bell has not been up there.
Bell and Larson, to be fair, are kind of. Yeah, I know Larson was literally up there yesterday, but
Larson's lately,
Larson's not leading laps like he normally does. But again, I don't know. He just could be tired from Indy still, and Nashville is weird. But I don't know. I mean, it's NASCAR. There's heavy swings with performance. It's hard to be consistent all year.
Yeah,
even though William Byron's doing a pretty good job of that.
One more thing about Denny Hamlin. He's kind of embraced this villain role the past couple seasons.
Has he?
And
like, I know he has, but I don't know.
He's trying to, Zach.
I don't know if he's doing a good job. I don't know.
He's trying to embrace it because he is so corny. He is so awkward.
This first thing's funny.
But I love it.
The Yahoo thing was funny.
That was funny.
Like when I'm like, girl, because Yahoo's gonna love that. They're gonna love that. They're gonna put that in a commercial.
He's such a dad. Like, just peak dad energy.
God, I love him.
And
but him saying that he beat our favorite drivers again, I thought that was in the grave.
He said that his dad told him not to do it again.
You need to listen to your dad, because what the hell are you? Why did he say it again? And then Kim Kuhn awkwardly said, "Which one? I want to do the same thing that Marty did. Which driver? Say the line, Denny. Say the line." That's no disrespect to Kim Kuhn, but I'm just like thing. It was just awkward. I cringed. Ugh.
I don't think he likes being the villain, but he's trying as best as he can to embrace it. And I appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
He could have said Happy Pride Month. Why didn't he get out of that car and say Happy Pride Month?
He owns this team, 2311. They send us gay shirts.
But I'm being serious,
Denny.
though. Could you imagine the power move it would have been for him to get out of that car and be like, thanks to Toyota, blah, 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 blah. Happy Pride Month. Why not? Just say
shout out to the gays.
Shout out to the gays. Great to see so many locals. Inside joke. But yeah. Whatever. He's cute. He's a dad.
Yeah. No, I like Denny Hamlin. Carson Hocevar. He was leading this race. He was leading this race with about 20 to go, but he had a flat tire while he was leading. And he also lost an engine at Charlotte. He did get second at Nashville. That win is coming soon.
Oh my God. He's one of the fastest cars. 3 races in a row.
He's top 5 a lot right now.
That's insane. And I have a few comments with him. And regarding yesterday's race, he was also very tight on fuel. We know Byron also ran out of fuel. He was second in line. He was pushing hard with battling with Hamlin. Does Hocevar make it on fuel? Something tells me he wouldn't have, because he didn't have draft that entire time.
I don't think he would have, because if Byron couldn't make it, I doubt Hocevar would, because he would be burning more fuel while out front.
He needed a caution, man. The one race where there's no like a late race caution, right? But
yeah,
I'm just so impressed with Hocevar, because it really, I mean, we see Ty Gibbs, he's still, and we can talk about him later, but 30 years, still doesn't have his first career win. It took Chase Elliott 3 years, it took Kyle Larson 3 years, right? Carson Hocevar, it still might take 3 years for him. There's no guarantees. He still might not win this season, but damn, he's so close to winning in his second season. I know Chase Elliott had moments for Spire. And Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, they surely had moments in their sophomore seasons, but we just never see newer Cup Series drivers to this quick of a start in their career. To be doing this in year 2 to me is just, it's unreal. I don't believe
you mentioned Kyle Larson, but he really reminds me of Casey Kane when Casey Kane first came into the series.
Yeah, Casey Kane
was 9 car.
Yeah.
And because it was just when is Casey Kane going to win? He came out so strong, was in contention all the time, and just had things go wrong.
I mean, he had those rookie stripes on the car, beating on the door, trying to win. Because we saw Carson really get this speed in the playoffs last year.
And I would say Everham was probably a stronger team than Spire is, but at the same time, I think it's comparable to Larson at Ganassi. But even then, Spire's probably a tier lower than that even.
Yeah.
It's really impressive what Hocevar's doing in that equipment.
I think people underrate Spire a little bit because just remember with this platform,
it is a Hendrick.
Well, and with the next gen platform too, it's like it's hard to find speed, but it's not impossible to find speed if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the thing with like we see Spire, they're really good in qualifying, right? We see them, they're amazing in qualifying. It's just the difference is that 77 team knows what it takes to be fast in the race, whether that's Carson, whether that's his crew chief, that team. The 77 really, and we did see Michael McDowell up there a little bit, but that was more strategy. But the 77 team really knows how to be up front. My only concern and question is this just intermediate speed? Because my next point is, I mean, I look at the schedule. We have 11 or 12 races until the playoffs start, and we talk about
road courses coming up.
We talk about is Carson Hocevar going to get a win this season? Is Carson Hocevar going to make the playoffs? Which is a real conversation that we need to be having. We have like at least 4 road courses, and if it's intermediate speed that he's really good at, I mean, there's Dover, there's Indianapolis, Pocono. That's kind of it before the playoffs.
That's crazy.
It's
so the next oval, like not mile and a half, but like intermediate, like Darlington.
I mean, Pocono. Well, it depends what you define as like a intermediate, because I count Pocono as an intermediate.
I'd put Pocono and Indy in the same category, like adjacent to Michigan,
I guess. Well, if you count Michigan as what I'm saying is like high speed tracks, because we just had like 5 in a row. What I'm saying is like we just had Kansas and Charlotte and Nashville and like Michigan, and Hocevar was really strong at all of these tracks.
Yeah.
But, now that we're going to some different tracks, what is his performance going to look like? That's my only concern in terms of him trying to make the playoffs, because I don't know what the cutoff looks like right now. I believe he's 18th in points, I believe.
Right outside of it.
Why do they make this so hard to look at? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll start covering that on the pod here in a few weeks. Zach.
I feel like we're ready to cover it though. Like in terms of this is, I literally Coke 600. Once the Coke 600 comes, I think playoff talk is very valid.
Yeah. We usually wait till about 10 or 8 weeks out.
Yeah.
You had a point in here that Hocevar had the same issue with the tire in the truck race.
Well, I don't know if it was the same. Well, so because he blew a tire in the truck race because he was racing with Ross Chastain. By the way, the truck race on Saturday, it was on Big Fox. That was some of the best racing I've seen with stock cars at Michigan. Like, it was kind of IndyCar-esque because the leaders were swapping. It was literally an IndyCar race. The leaders kept swapping. Ross Chastain and Carson Hocevar were putting on an absolute show. Ross got a little tight into Carson off the corner, and the contact from Ross's truck cut Carson's tire. So what I'm saying is it was really ironic that a flat tire took Carson Hocevar out of the win both races, because he was in another timeline. Carson Hocevar just swept the weekend at his home track.
That's kind of crazy.
Very crazy. This kid is uber talented. And what I want to talk about with his cup car is I wonder if, because he just blew a tire like naturally, like it just went flat naturally. I almost wonder if, remember when Brad Keselowski took the lead at Kansas?
Right.
And they did not adjust their air pressures for running in clean air, because when you run in clean air, you put more load on your tires since you're carrying more corner speed. I almost wonder if the 77 team, that was the first time they were leading all day. I almost wonder if they didn't adjust what they needed to. And it's something that's just weird about the next gen car. Leading in the next gen car is just so different.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, it very well could be. And that team's not necessarily used to leading either. And
that's something I wanted to bring up earlier, but I didn't know how to say it when we were talking about, is Spire actually that like bad of a team anymore? There's going to be little things like that. Right. They have qualifying speed, but executing a 400-mile race is not just about having speed. Even if you have speed, there's other little things that you need to make sure you have down. So it's just something to follow. Like if he does somehow make the playoffs. We
have a couple Patreon member comments. This one's from Chris, says, "That's it. I'm a Hocevar fan. I was heartbroken for him when his tire went down. Sure, he probably would have ran out of gas, but still."
I like that, because wouldn't that have been a cool story?
Yeah.
His home track, getting your first one at your home track. Oh, that would have been so cool.
Would have been very cool.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
And then Patreon member Dirt says, I asked after the 600 about how Carson could bounce back from the blood engine at Charlotte, and he finished second at Nashville and led Michigan with 20 to go until heartbreak struck again. Will he win a race this year? And do you guys think he winds up in a different seat as soon as next year?
I think this schedule really throws it for a loop, because his momentum is going to get broken up going to Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't even know how good he is at road courses, to be honest, but like, we have Pocono and Atlanta after that. We have Atlanta soon.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Atlanta.
He could win Daytona.
He could. Anyway, girl, I could win Daytona. Anyone. Like, come on, don't make Harrison Burton won Daytona. Don't make me laugh.
So my thing with Carson, I think we're right, is that this is going to be a rough stretch for him, or at least rougher stretch. If he's going to win a race, I think it might be in the playoffs, but I don't know if he's going to be in the playoffs.
I don't even know if it'll be like a rough stretch. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to sit here and be like, he's going to win a race. I mean, I can't even, that's the thing about NASCAR. I can't even sit here and say that Denny Hamlin's going to win a race. It just depends, like, can they keep up this performance when they get back to Pocono? That's just my question. Like, what is it going to look like at Pocono? Because I'm expecting more of the same. To have 3 straight weeks of having one of the fastest cars, that's really impressive to me.
Yeah.
So things are looking good, but you just got to make sure you have a solid week at Mexico and don't let it mess up your execution for when we get back to the ovals. But then also there's more road courses to come. So.
And then the second half of Dirt's question, do we think he winds up in a different seat as soon as next year?
Ooh. I mean, I haven't actually thought about that much, to be honest with you, because he is kind of like a Kyle Larson at Ganassi right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's one of the best drivers, I feel like. You have to say that, right? He's very impressive, but he's not at a really big team. Like, he's not at one of the big 3 teams, like the Gibbs, Penske, Hendrick. So, but I don't know, because where would he go? Hendrick? That's the obvious answer, right? Like,
yeah.
We're talking about Alex Bowman a little bit, and do you want to talk about Alex Bowman now? Because
let's talk about Alex Bowman now, because I'm trying to think where else we could talk about this, but Alex Bowman should not be talked about getting replaced because of this crash in Michigan.
Yeah, he should be talked about getting replaced because he doesn't win that much. That's why he should be talked. I'm half joking. A
lot of people on social media were like, why is Bowman so got a ride? He keeps finishing bad. Like, he got wrecked. It's not his fault. But if
why was he back there?
If Hocevar is going to go anywhere, the 48 is the one ride where it's like, well, I guess.
I will say, though, does Rick want him wrecking off his cars?
There was that rumor about Justin Haley potentially going to the 48 last year, and then that got thwarted because Bowman won Chicago.
It was literally that weekend. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Justin Haley. Why would
well, they're probably a good thing they go with Haley.
They're probably like, thank God. Who'd go for his teammate? Damn.
So other than that, I don't think there's anything open. So my guess is that he's going to still be in the 77 next year. But then the year after that, I think a lot of contracts open up unless Trackhouse throws a curveball in and they swoop him up and replace Suarez.
I would have been not with Hocevar. They already have Zilish. They're gonna have to pay money to keep Zilish. I feel like they're gonna have to pay. My thing is, if I'm Jeff Gordon, Rick Hendrick right now, I feel like
would you rather have Zilish or Hocevar? I guess that's another question.
I don't know if that's even the choice for them at this moment. But if I'm Jeff Gordon and I'm looking at this, and I wonder if Jeff has confidence in Carson Hocevar, like if he has confidence to bring him to the team and get him not under control, because I listened to Door Bumper Clear this week, and they had Jeff Dickerson, I don't know if he's the team principal at Spire or whatever he does, but he's, I think he's like the owner. he talked about Carson in a really interesting way where it's like, we accept responsibility for what he does because it's not okay, but we also appreciate how fast he is. Like, I wonder what Jeff Gordon thinks about Carson Hocevar and if he would want them in a Hendrick car. That's what I'm very curious about.
My one problem or concern, I guess, with Hocevar potentially going to Hendrick would be they wouldn't let him race how he races to an extent.
Are you sure?
That's why Kyle Busch didn't fit in at Hendrick.
Well, that was 20 years ago, though. I mean,
I know.
I guess Kyle Larson has moments of aggression, but he's also like a generational talent. But Hocevar is also like, he's getting away with how he drives because he's so fast.
Yeah.
Honestly.
To wrap this up, I think Hocevar will still be in the 77 next year, but the year after that might be a different story.
I kind of agree with that, but if something happened for next year, I don't know, going to Hendrick, it just depends what happens with Bowman. And my thing with Bowman is, that wreck yesterday, yeah, it wasn't his fault, but like he was running 32nd in that first run.
That is true.
And I'm not saying that's just Alex's fault because there's a lot that goes into these races. I mean, we saw Chase Elliott struggle a lot yesterday too. Like, it's just one of those things where something with that team's not clicking. It could be the driver, it could be the crew chief. It's not clicking, but it's also in a way where, remember, they were like really high in points at the beginning of the year, and then they just had a really, really rough stretch of races, a lot of DNFs.
They're right at the playoff cut line now too.
It might just be a string of bad luck because normally, I feel like we literally said it on an episode this year, Bowman is your perfect fourth Hendrick driver. He's there getting top 10s, top 5s, getting points. He just hasn't been doing that the past 2 months.
Yeah.
That's just the only concern.
Yeah.
And,
let's talk about that crash for Bowman because it was a nasty crash. It was on lap 66, went head on into the wall. Very scary. I was concerned. Hopefully he's doing okay today. Those crashes the next day usually hurt more, it sounds like. It was just kind of a stack up with Cindric and Custer down low. They get together and they went up and collected Bowman, and Bowman went into the wall.
That was one of those wrecks where you're just like, girl, cut the cameras. I just forgot about how dangerous racing is. Like, it's wow. And I'm surprised I'm glad he is okay, but I don't know what to say. It was really scary. That was a crazy, because it happened so fast.
Bowman has had 2 injuries in recent years, one from a sprint car, one from the Cup race at Texas.
Oh my God. He inherited the Dale Jr. curse.
It's just, I'm concerned for him. I'm sure he's like talking to doctors if there's anything feeling wrong, but
he's literally, I mean, he's reminding me of Dale Jr., which is ironic as hell because he replaced Dale Jr., but like, he's had all these major crashes, and I don't know, it might not pop up soon, but it might pop up. It might pop up soon. It might pop up in a few years down the line. Kind of like what happened with Earnhardt. So I don't know. It just sucks to see a wreck like that because it was just, double NASCAR restart nonsense. You can't even pin blame on anybody. It's just how restarts are, which whatever.
Yeah. Well, this race was so good, Zach, that William Byron led almost half the race. He led 98 of 200 laps. And that's not like the main story because a lot of times a car will dominate and people are like, oh, this was boring. But William Byron led quite a bit of laps. He ran out of fuel with 3 to go. Yep. What were you going to say?
If William Byron misses the championship 4 or a playoff round, he's going to think about Darlington. He's going to think about the 600, and he's going to think about this race. Yep. 3 races that 24 team. I don't know so much yesterday, but Darlington, the 600, they had it under control.
Yep.
And this 24 team, they have things under control, and I have criticized William Byron for this in the past, but as soon as someone races him, it's keys.
Mm-hmm.
It's keys. He does not win these. He just never wins these battles. It seems like.
Right.
I don't know, but yeah.
Is this the best he's looked in the midseason, like going into summer?
I'm glad you brought that up because the fact that he is one of the best teams right now, like kind of that trio from the 600 where it's like Hamlin, Hocevar, and Byron. Byron is leading the flagship for Hendrick, or is the flagship Hendrick car right now. Larson's just been having an off month. Byron is that guy that you expect at the front of the field. let me give him credit there because that 24 team knows how to put their car at the front. They know how to lead laps, obviously. Like, they have led so many laps this year, but they really do need to figure out a way. They only have one win this season, and they got lucky to get that one. So
that is crazy. That's his only win because he's been up front so much.
I wonder what he's going to do at Mexico because he's been fast at the road courses. I don't even know who I'm picking. God, I forgot to even.
That's coming up,
girl. I got hold on.
We ain't got much to talk about today. Fantasy's right around the corner, Zach.
I don't even know who to pick. I got to think of IndyCar too. I'm screwed. Oh God.
Well, let's talk about some notable finishes and results here. Chris Buescher finished second. I think he had the best car yesterday. Chris Buescher, really good at Michigan.
You think he had the best car?
He was like really, really fast. He lost a lot of positions at one point.
He was giving
Finished
Ryan
second
Blaney to where he was really good at making passes, but he just kept losing spots on like the short run restarts.
He won the opening stage. This was also the first time since 2016 that the 3 RFK cars finished in the top 10. That's cool.
This Michigan race is such a time machine. Yep, all 3 Roush cars in the top 10 at Michigan, of course. Duh.
Why would that happen?
I thought, oh my God, I was hoping, well, I guess Greg Biffle didn't win that fuel mileage race I'm thinking of, but I remember Greg Biffle being involved in it. I'm like, oh my God, if a Roush car ends up winning this fuel mileage race, what a throwback race this is. A perfect Michigan race here.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
And by the way, 2016, I had to think about it. That was the Trevor Bayne, Ricky Stenhouse, and Greg Biffle lineup. I didn't know that trio ever got a top 10.
That was Greg Biffle's last season. Do you know what track it was?
I don't know.
It could have been Daytona.
It might have been Michigan. I don't know.
It might have been Michigan. They always run good at Michigan. Yeah, what a weird Roush lineup that was. That weird dark age of Roush.
Yeah, I got that from the Prime broadcast. I didn't catch what track it was. But yeah, pretty cool. Ty Gibbs finished third. It looked like he might have a shot at this for a moment. I was thinking for a moment it might be like that Fontana finish where Kyle Busch stole the win from third if Byron and Hamlin collided or anything.
Well, apparently it should have looked like that because Ty Gibbs, I mean, I saw him on TV and he looked like someone kicked his puppy. Like he was literally, I think he was crying. He's an emotional little boy. He's an emotional little boy. And it sounds like his team was telling him to save fuel when he really wanted to go attack. And to the point where they didn't even flip the reserve switch. Like they had plenty of fuel left. And it makes you wonder, Ty Gibbs, if Ty's probably wondering, I could have won that race if I just pushed for it. Because, when Byron and Hamlin were side by side, they're parachuting each other. Like it's easy opportunity to pass. We saw it. Remember Darlington like last year with like Buescher, the way he won that race with like Reddick and Keselowski. Like it was set up perfectly and he didn't take it. And he had the opportunity to. And that's heart-wrenching. And when you're searching for your first career win.
He's likely going to need that first career win because he's currently 24th in points. I didn't realize he was that low.
I didn't either. Which it doesn't sound real, but yeah. Wow.
Yep.
His season hasn't been that high. Only 3 top 10s. Yeah. This season's been that bad.
And then Bubba Wallace quietly finished 4th. Pretty solid run for him.
Quietly having a really good season. I'm surprised he's only 10th in points, to be honest, because I feel like he's just clicking off these top 10s.
He's always up there in top 10.
23-11 in general. And we saw Reddick have some like really good restarts yesterday, but he just doesn't seem to be able to really claw his way to like the battle for the lead. Yeah. Weirdly enough, the 23-11, those 2 cars, the only 2 cars at that organization, they are just permanently 6th and 10th right now. It feels like.
Yeah. Chase Briscoe's permanently on the pole, apparently, because 3rd race in a row we got the pole, but he finished 23rd.
I've noticed that in NASCAR, we'll have trends for pole sitters. Like, remember when Spire kept winning the poles like a month ago?
Yeah.
Now Chase Briscoe. That happens a lot.
Does James Small know the car has to be fast on Sunday?
Well, that's the thing, though, with a lot of these teams, and I feel like we see it, again, a lot. Setting up the car for qualifying is so different than what it needs to be in the race, just with how your car needs to be in traffic. Mm-hmm. That's something that, that's why the 12 team was kind of, I think, having trouble on Saturdays because they obviously have traffic and race setup figured out, but it's a balancing act that I'm glad I don't have to figure out,
Yeah.
because there is obviously something going on with that 19 team that they need to figure out in terms of just race pace. But I don't even know where he finished yesterday, to be honest.
23rd.
Girl. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. JGR is weird in general. Just
very weird. Former JGR driver and no longer the most winning driver at JGR, by the way, Denny Hamlin surpassed Kyle Busch.
I know Denny. I know
he like that.
Is thriving off of that. Oh, gosh.
Kyle Busch started on the front row alongside Chase Briscoe and finished 8th. I bring him up because our Patreon member Phil brought up an interesting point, Zach, and I'm curious what you're going to think about this. Phil says, while Zack thinks Kyle Busch isn't going to win again, Busch has been showing flashes of speed recently. It has me thinking about his future. He signed a 1-year renewal with RCR for next year. And Phil questions, what if he ends up at Legacy Motor Club in 2027, paired with a former teammate in Jimmy Johnson and a former manufacturer with Toyota? LMC seems to have more speed. Phil says he'd love to see that happen. What do we think of this little theory here?
Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson should definitely be teammates in Xfinity cars, and they should terrorize the field and win the entire schedule. They would. You put Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson in a full-time Xfinity car, they will terrorize. Put them in JRM cars. I don't even care, the manufacturers. Just put them in.
Jimmy Johnson's never won an Xfinity, right? I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
He needs to make that happen. Okay, to answer your question. Or is this a question? I don't even know what this is.
What do we think of his idea?
I think this is a lot. I don't agree that. Yeah, he has flashes of speed, but I mean, that doesn't mean I guess you never said he might win again. I don't know. I mean,
basically,
so like if he went to Legacy
RCR, would it be a good idea if he went to Legacy? Let's say they scrap John Hunter and they grab Kyle Busch. Would that be an upgrade?
Legacy Motor Club has won 0 races. RCR has won 4 races in that same amount of time, I think. Yeah, roughly. No.
I guess not. Dylan won a race and then Kyle won 2, maybe 3.
Dylan won a race and then Kyle Busch won 3. Like, what I'm saying is, like, I don't know why. I don't feel good about Legacy Motor Club because they are still very unproven to me. I don't care how.
They are getting better.
Yeah, but okay. Running, like, getting top 10 finishes is great and all, but you need to go out there and battle for the lead. And in terms of, like, for expectations for Kyle Busch, like, if Kyle Busch is looking for something better, I guess I feel like that would be a very neutral exchange. I don't think it'd be better or worse. Those are teams that's like, on a good day, they are in the top 10.
Right.
I think that's because someone's got to run there. Someone's got to be 10th. Like, it's like until Legacy Motor Club wins a race. Because I still think Kyle Busch, I mean, he almost won COTA. Like, Kyle Busch can still win races. He just needs circumstances to be lined up, and he needs to be on it that weekend.
Yeah.
At Legacy Motor Club, I don't feel that confident, to be honest.
Interesting theory there, Phil, or I think it sounds like you more like want to see that happen rather than
that was a fun thought experiment, though.
Yeah, I like it.
And what I said about him and Jimmy in Xfinity cars needs to happen. I want to see them terrorize these kids.
I'm still hoping Kyle plans to do a truck season.
That would be fun.
He did say he wants to do that, but that was when he's still at KBM. So I'm curious if he still plans to do that in a few years.
Doesn't he have? I feel like he has partial ownership of the Spire truck team, or at least, I don't know. He still makes starts for them. I'm sure if Kyle Busch and a sponsor said, we're going to run the full season, Spire's going to find a truck for them. I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm sure.
God.
Chase Elliott finished 15th. He actually led some laps. He was hoping for a caution that never came out. He has no finish worse than 20th this season.
Where are they in points? Aren't they top 5 in points?
I think they're the highest on points without a win.
This is why I wish we had full season points, because this is so... Chase Elliott's just so interesting to me. The way this team has just been performing. Because they're not bad, but they are bad. You know what I mean? Like, you should be winning more. But Also, you're fine. You're chill. You're getting all these good finishes. It's so weird. And
this reminds me of Kansas when he took the lead for a minute. I was like, oh, Elliott's going to run away with this race for a minute. And then he just kind of disappeared again. Same thing happened at Kansas.
There's going to be a weekend where that 9 team really does hit it. And they're up there with Byron and Larson. Like at Kansas. Like Kansas was one of those weekends, but something went wrong. They need to have a weekend where not only do they hit on it, but they execute perfectly. Because those two things have not been lining up. It seems like for me, it's so hard to win these races. And I know people have a lot to say about Chase Elliott and the 9 team, of course. My thing with them is Chase, since this next gen car, has just won less. That's just a fact. Like, he had a pretty good season 2022, don't get me wrong, but he's just won less, and I just want people to be aware of that. Like, with this car, he's kind of like Kyle Busch in a way, where I don't know. I don't know if he's adapted to this car as well as a lot of people might.
I think Chase specifically, you can look at the road courses. The road course performance just hasn't been there with this car versus the Gen 6.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope. And Ryan Blaney got loose and hit the wall, spun out, and that pretty much took him out of the race. Another like up and down kind of thing.
Did he get like, he must have gotten like one of those weird aero spots where like he was in dirty air and then the front right or front left caught like clean air and then it just got snapped loose. I mean, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
Up and down. That's exactly his season. I mean,
at least now he has a win though after Nashville.
Yeah. And he's still 7th in points. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to some good tracks for him. Pocono that he won at last year, Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's got some good tracks coming up.
And then did you see that Ty Dillon killed a squirrel? Did you see that?
I heard about it. I didn't see it. Was that on TV?
It was on. There was a clip of it. They didn't show it happening.
Oh, well, I was busy during the race yesterday.
Or at least there was a photo. There was a squirrel running. That's sad.
Sandy Cheeks.
No, Sandy.
She was getting ready to change those tires herself. I don't know. Why is a squirrel on the racetrack? I feel like Michigan had an animal on the track before, maybe.
Was it Michigan where there was like something on the backstretch?
Groundhog?
Was it like a groundhog?
Wasn't there a groundhog? Oh, was it Michigan or was it Pocono? I feel like Pocono's had a lot of animals before because there's a lot of. I know Michigan has a lot of campgrounds around the track, though. I don't know. That's. I love when animals get onto the racetrack. How the hell does a squirrel? Was it on pit road?
It was on pit road.
How the hell does a squirrel get to pit road?
I don't know. I wonder if it was like hanging out in the infield grass. I don't know.
Inner part of the track. Like, it's not like it makes sense if it's on the backstretch or something and like hop the fence. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. But now we're going to get into the T.
We get some cool teams.
Ram is returning to the Truck Series in 2026. No teams or drivers were announced. They have the intent of returning to the Cup Series by 2028, likely with Dodge. And Zach, when we were in Indianapolis, we drove by a dealership that had Dodge, Jeep, Ram, their other brands for the parent company. And you explained to me that Dodge Ram is not a thing, but Ram and Dodge are two separate brands now.
Because Dodge used to make trucks. And
I did not know this. Yeah.
I didn't know this until very recently.
Yeah, you explained this to me. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then here we are. Ram, not Dodge, but Rams coming to the Truck Series.
I find the branding of it really interesting because I believe, again, when Dodge left NASCAR, it was still like Dodge. And it had it even still had the
Ram logo.
It was still called Ram, like the Dodge Ram. But their parent company apparently is Stellantis. I didn't even know that because I thought it was just Chrysler, but apparently Dodge and Chrysler are under Stellantis, whatever the hell that is. Oh my God, their CEO has like earrings or so. Oh no, that's a headpiece to talk into. Never mind. I thought he had earrings. I was like, girl, eat that
girl.
Up. Yes, we're coming back to NASCAR. I think this is cool. The branding is so weird to me because they don't use that like Ram logo anymore. It's just the word Ram. Like there's no like goat or Ram, the animal.
I think they do, but on the truck, it
not
just
on the
said
truck.
The text.
Yeah, it's not on the truck.
Yeah.
They follow that. Oh my God, I don't know why this is a thing. This is kind of off topic, Alex. I don't know why on trucks they love to just put the name of the manufacturer instead of the badge, like on the grill. Like, the Ford trucks that say Ford, like not in the blue oval. Yeah. And then like Chevrolet does it with the Silverado, and then now Ram obviously does it. Yeah. I find that trend really interesting. I don't know.
I like the emblem, the little logo.
I like badges. I think badges are clean. Yeah. They still do that with the Silverados and like the trucks, like the truck series, obviously.
Yeah. They announced this during Sunday's pre-race ceremonies at the track.
For the cup race.
For the cup race.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense because like that's putting it in front of more people.
But the truck race was on Fox.
That's the argument to it.
And Michael Waltrip was in the booth and was like, hey, it's going to be cool when Dodge is here. He said something like that. And I don't know. It's like, if Fox is going to leak your news anyway, why don't you just do it?
That was kind of awkward, wasn't it?
Before the actual race you're going to participate in. Weird choice, in my opinion. Like, I'm not saying it's a smaller audience on Prime, but like you're going to be on Big Fox before the truck series. And you can have the TV booth talk about you all race. I feel like it's a weird choice to do it on the Sunday because it was not talked about again.
Yeah, if they would have done it literally, what if they made it part of pre-race ceremonies and it's like on Fox, on TV?
Do the same thing that did on Sunday, but on Saturday. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been. I think that would have worked, but I don't know. And then still,
they could have had like a CEO or spokesperson, someone go into the booth, chatted up with Jamie Little for a minute. Fox loves doing stuff like that. Like, just missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah, that is a missed opportunity. But I am glad they're back in the sport, and they have intentions of bringing Dodge back to Cup.
They don't specifically say that, but it is speculated.
We know
what else are going to run? Jeep?
Yeah, and I think Dodge, they still make Chargers, I believe. I don't know if they make the Challenger still, but I think the Charger is their more marketable. What the hell am I looking at? Is that the electric one? The Charger looks like the Challenger now. What the hell? Okay, never mind.
Real quick,
weird.
Zach, I don't care about truck teams going to Ram. Which Cup team do you think by 2028 will be with Dodge?
It's going to be somebody that is tired of being a B team. So
Truckhouse.
Unless the only 8, maybe Penske going back to Dodge. I could maybe see that, but I don't know. I feel like they're pretty happy with Ford. Trackhouse maybe, Spire maybe. Trackhouse definitely, because Justin Marks is the type to do aggressive moves like that.
See, the Honda rumors for a while, I was always saying Trackhouse, Colleague, Spire, they would all go.
Spire Honda makes sense,
but if Honda also comes, which Adam Stern of the Sports Business Journal reiterated that those talks are still very far along for Honda to come in as well. Like, who knows?
Maybe front row. There. I don't know. I could literally be any of those teams, to be honest with you. But I think Trackhouse, just with how aggressive Justin Marks is normally.
I think Trackhouse is definitely gonna. Trackhouse wants to be a top team for a manufacturer. I think that'll happen.
These new Dodge Chargers are so weird looking.
Well, Zach, let's talk about the truck race because you watched it and you said it was bad. Earlier, you said it was really good.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. You know how NASCAR races are. Well, Alex, have you watched NASCAR before?
Yes.
Think about any Daytona 500. The first 90% of it, this is some of the best racing ever. This is great. Awesome. I can't wait to see who wins this. And then we have a caution with, 7 to 5 to go. They were wrecking a lot.
Okay.
I don't even remember. Oh, it was when Carson Hocevar cut his tire, it left the carcass on the track, so they had to throw a caution. And then they had a restart, and who was it? Was it Gio Ruggiero? Somebody in the front 2 rows did not get going, and I mean, that might have been the worst restart wreck I've ever seen. It was worse than that one wreck at the Clash in 2020. There were trucks goddamn everywhere.
I have to look up a replay. I have not seen this. Okay.
And that flipped the switch into this is a clown show. Alex, Corey LaJoie was in the lead on one of the overtime restarts because, of course, we had multiple. Corey LaJoie was a legitimate threat to win that race only on the overtimes. He was not a threat before. Trust me.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, Corey LaJoie is going to win this race. This cannot get worse. The caution
in front of the tens of people that he rejected a ride for. He got offered the 19 truck that Henriksen, right?
I don't even want to have that conversation because it's just, he is backpedaling like he was blaming Bob Pockrass. He said, oh, Bob Pockrass always asked me that question. And that day I was just sick of it. I hadn't eaten in 5 days or something. He was saying
I hadn't
some
slept.
Crazy stuff. Like,
anyway.
Right. I'm sorry Bob Pockrass asked you a question. Jesus, he'll never do that again. God. Anyways, it got bad. Like, I think Daniel Hemrick, speaking of, or somebody, he went into turn 3 coming to the white flag, and his tire let go from contact from the previous restart. So of course we racked him up again, had another restart. Stuart Friesen ended up finally winning the race. That race went way too long. There was a red flag to fix the safer barrier with 40 to go too. So it just took way too long. Stuart Friesen won the race, which was a feel-good story. I like Stuart Friesen.
He hasn't won in a while.
He's a true racer. He works really hard. Glad he got that win and not Corey LaJoie or someone stupid. So, but yeah, that was the racing before all the overtimes was really good. Okay. But that's not what I'm talking about right now.
Tommy Joe Martins put out a tweet, Zach, about overtime, and he said it is the most costly rule change that NASCAR has ever made.
What do you talk about?
Yes.
Every time we watch the Daytona 500, it's that overtimes are stupid, and I bring up how much money this costs, to wreck all of these race cars. I mean, we talk about racing and how it's dangerous and how with these NASCAR teams, we're trying to save money. We're trying to cut costs. We're trying to not have practice so these teams can save money. Oh, but we're going to put these guys in situations where they wreck over and over and over again on double file restarts. And I'm not even trying to get into the double file restart conversation, but remember, Alex, you watched the Coke Series iRacing race last week, and when they had a caution right after a restart, they went single file.
I like that.
I'm just saying, maybe we should do that in real life, because I just don't know, especially the Truck Series. The Cup Series is one thing because this is the biggest show. These are the Cup teams, whatever. It's for the Daytona 500, whatever. But these truck teams for the Michigan 250, girl, sometimes just end the race. We just let the race end. We don't need to re-wrecking all these trucks. These teams cannot afford this.
We have a couple more sips of tea. The 2311 legal stuff happened. NASCAR won
the injunction thing. The injunction appeal. They appealed the injunction or something. I don't know.
We're gonna say something wrong about it, and it's not because we're wearing their shirts. Genuinely.
Oh, true.
I am not qualified to give you analysis on what happened here. So follow some actual journalists. I'm sure Bob Pockrass, Jeff Gluck.
The too long didn't read of it is they are possibly running as open teams for the rest of the season, which also means they might lose prize money.
But NASCAR will not do that because there are other cases going on that
because they don't want it to look.
It could backfire. Yeah, they don't want it. I don't think anything's gonna happen.
See, I wasn't familiar with that. I don't know. I don't even care.
We're bringing it up just because it is tea. It's news, but
check that box.
Anyway, we're not qualified. It's not because of our shirts. Promise.
Let's get to some bigger news, Alex. Huge news.
What happened? Breaking news.
They renamed Atlanta to Echo Park Motor Speedway. That's even worse. Echo Park Motor. I think it's just Echo Park Speedway.
Is it just Speedway?
It's just Echo Park Speedway. Thank God. Echo Park Motor. Gee, I can't even say it. Echo Park Motor Speedway is a mouthful. That's 6 syllables. That's too much. God.
So this is my flop of the week.
Why? Wait, what? Why? Okay, y'all are too upset about this. What?
It's not like I'm mad about it. I just think it's stupid.
We didn't complain about Auto Club Speedway.
No.
We didn't complain about Lowe's Motor Speedway.
No.
We didn't complain about Infineon Raceway. No, that kind of did sound stupid.
Infineon,
whatever the hell it is. I did used to call it Infineon, but but my point is, it's just this is such a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I played NASCAR 07 and Lowe's Motor Speedway did not bother me one bit.
Who remembers ISM Raceway? Phoenix.
That
Good times.
has I can justify hate for that, because my thing is, at least like Echo Park is like a car thing. It's like a car, something about used cars or something. I don't know.
It's owned by the Smith family, who owns all the SMI tracks. Echo Park is.
Well, fair enough.
So, do I
Get that brand out
care?
there.
No, I do. I'm going to give it flop of the week, though. So I'm like, this is just silly.
Well, I like it when it's brands that are like, I guess, common or consumer, like Lowe's. Everyone knows what Lowe's is.
And see, Lowe's Motor Speedway, maybe just because we were kids, it's just like that had aura to it. So
that
like,
aura.
oh, that's cool.
And Jimmy won there a lot, so it just made sense. And Auto Club Speedway, well, that's a car thing. Auto Club, that makes it. That sounds like a racetrack. Auto Club Speedway. Oh yeah, that's a racetrack. Okay.
Yeah.
Echo Park Speedway. Yeah, I guess Echo Park isn't really like, you don't know what the hell that is.
Do you want to go to Echo Park? Like,
I don't actually. I think Echo Park is something with like used cars, because I remember the Michael Waltrip commercial.
But Echo Park, I think
they should have just called it Echo Park.
They should have called the Roval Echo Park Speedway, or Echo Park at Charlotte, something like that. The Echo Park Roval at Charlotte. I think it should have been the Roval.
Actually been,
because then you could differentiate Charlotte Oval and Charlotte Roval a bit better. Just the Roval being called that, I think, would have been better.
People still call it the Roval anyways, but that would actually would have been cool though. Like the Echo Park Roval, that would have been cool.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. It's whatever. We're still going to call it Atlanta. Like we still called California Fontana. We still called Lowe's. People still called Lowe's Charlotte. It's such a nothing burger. So.
Yeah. Guys, Mario Kart World came out. The Nintendo Switch 2 came out. As of recording, mine arrived today.
It came out. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
It took a little bit longer to get out of the closet.
Since you didn't like my last flop of the week, I'm going to give flop of the week to Target, because I pre-ordered my Switch 2 in April and it didn't arrive for several days after launch day. No other retailer had that problem, but whatever. Switch 2.
It's such a cool console. Like, so we're getting off topic, but it's just such a cool console. Like, it's a lot bigger. Where's my first Switch? I put it away, but it's a lot bigger than the first Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's a size comparison. So it's a lot bigger, and the Joy-Cons are magnetic. It just feels like a nicer device to like hold in your hand. It came with a new Pro controller. I got that. The sticks are smooth. Mario Kart World is a fun game. Like, it's open world Mario Kart. It's the Mario Kart game I wish that I got to have as a kid, because my imagination would run absolutely
I would have loved free roam as a kid so much.
I know, and I still love it as an adult, but it would hit. Oh, I can't. I'm jealous of the kids today that get to play this as their childhood Mario Kart.
Right.
Like, it's awesome, because I remember playing like Mario Kart Wii, and I would be Luigi on the dirt bike, and I would race at all of the tracks that would make sense for dirt bikes to be at, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The Waluigi Stadium or whatever.
Oh yeah, Waluigi Stadium, yeah.
So it's just like, it's cool to see like this. I could probably do that in this game and it would make sense. And it's just, and there's a photo mode and there's costumes for the characters. The graphics are great.
Whenever we're done recording here, I'm gonna keep playing it. So I'm behind by several days of everyone else that got it.
Girl, iRacing, I don't know if I'm getting on iRacing anytime soon. I'm trying to do the NASCAR iRacing series every week, but girl, I love my Nintendo Switch
At some point, Zach and I, we've talked about this before, would like to do a viewer stream or something for Mario Kart. So if you have the system in the game, come play with us.
That's awesome.
Follow our socials for if we decide to do that. But fantasy, Zach.
Oh, shoot.
For Michigan, you got the point for Carson Hocevar's 29th place finish. I had Blaney.
Carson Hocevar, and
you were so close.
Almost won. Ugh,
I picked Blaney, who finished 32nd. Points, it is 14-11. You are behind. Who are you picking from Mexico City, Zach?
I get to pick first? I don't know. I guess I'll just... I want to pick SVG. But I'm still kind of uncertain about him. But I don't know who else to pick because it's Mexico and it's so uncertain. So I'm just going to pick SVG. I don't know who to pick. I might as well just pick SVG. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I think that's probably the right pick. I was hoping you weren't going to take him.
I almost did.
Oh, I want him.
I don't think SVG is all that on road courses right now.
I was going to say, what?
I mean, Chris Buescher outdueled him at Watkins. I'm not saying that he's not good at road courses.
That's not a fair comparison because Watkins Glen, Buescher's been running on for a decade.
Well, yeah. So you're saying because Mexico's a new track to everybody, SVG is not going to be at a disadvantage? I don't know. But even at COTA, which was a new layout,
he's going to be like in the top 10 at minimum.
Oh, no, definitely. I'm just saying, I think people expect SVG to like be the leader and break away and have a 10-second lead. That's not
Chicago had such unique consequences. It was raining, a new track, etc.
Like, what I'm saying is he's not a lock to win. And I think there's a real possibility that SVG never wins again in the Cup Series.
He's getting better. I'm not saying he's going to win on an oval, but he's getting like he's running like top 20 now on ovals. He's improved a lot quickly.
I don't know. He's had a lot of road course starts and I'm not that impressed. But the expectations were very high for him. I think that's maybe why. I still picked him, so I obviously think he's good. Who are you going to pick, Alex?
I'm torn between AJ Allmendinger and Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, those are good picks. You know who I almost thought about? Kyle Busch. He was so good at COTA.
Really? Oh,
and he won at Mexico before, 20 years ago.
That is true. Denny Hamlin's also won at Mexico City, but he's not good on road courses nowadays. I think I'm gonna go with Reddick. I don't know if I want to go with AJ Allmendinger. It's possible if he wins, then I was that close.
I don't know though. AJ, he's
been going good.
He really does pop off wins. Like he just, I don't know. Well, he has
another one
wins with Colleague in the Cup Series, Roval and Indy. I feel like he has more.
Another one to mention is Ty Gibbs. Pretty good on road courses here and there. Maybe Michigan will motivate him and everything.
Oh, that would be a really cool first one for him. I could see that. Yeah. But
and then IndyCar is at Gateway in St. Louis. I will be there.
That's exciting.
I'm bringing my best friend from high school to her first race. She is so excited. I'm doing a thing every day. I'm texting her like a driver. And I gave her like little notes about Pato Award today. I'm having fun with that. She's really
that's actually really cool. Oh.
Yeah. So we're going to have fun. If you're going, say hi. We're doing pit passes and everything. I'm giving her the full experience. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's so cool. You're such a good friend.
Yeah. Zack, you have the point lead in IndyCar. It is 10-6. You got the win at Detroit with Kirkwood. So I get to pick first. Who do you think I'm going to pick for IndyCar at St. Louis? It's so difficult, right?
It's actually not that obvious, though. So don't pretend it's too obvious, because I don't think it is.
No, I still think the obvious, if you want to call it, that's going to happen. I'm going to go Joseph Newgarden.
Okay. Well, yeah,
but
he's obvious.
I'm assuming you're going to pick the next one of the two other potential obvious picks.
My thing is, I'm not heartbroken that you're picking Joseph Newgarden, because I'm picking David Malukas. Is that who you thought? Did you think I was going to pick him or Scott McLaughlin?
Yep.
Okay. I think you could throw Pato in there too, I guess. But
yeah, Pato. You could throw Pato in there.
Carson Hocevar gave me the confidence to pick David Malukas. Yesterday, he gave me the confidence to pick David Malukas. He's on it right now. He's on it. He's good form.
And I just say, if Malukas wins this race and Will Power finishes low top 10, it's over.
I think if David Malukas wins this race, it's over. Will Power could finish second, and it's over. I mean, it's keys. It's over. It's done. It's cooked.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the 500 might have spoiled that.
I've seen some pushback on this rumor on social media. I don't think people want it to be true or whatever. It might not be, but it ain't looking good.
My thing is with Will Power, and I think this is something that we kind of see in NASCAR. Will Power has been at Penske forever. Literally forever. Like, I mean, I don't know how long, because it's been that long. In NASCAR, and we've seen rare exceptions with like Kyle Busch leaving JGR, I feel like in NASCAR, when you're with a team that long, you're probably going to end your career there. You know? Like, if this was a NASCAR team, I think Will Power gets to stay there for as long as he wants. But because it's IndyCar and it's Penske specifically Wilder Penske, like Scott Dixon, for example. Scott Dixon, he's going to end his career at Ganassi.
Oh, God, yeah.
Even if his performance drops off, because really, Dixon and Power are very similar in terms of how they're performing, I feel like. But Penske's expectations are different than Ganassi's expectations.
Yeah. And I don't know for certain, but I assume Verizon is there for Penske and not the driver.
Yeah, because they've been
the series sponsor before and everything like that. I think they're just there for Team Penske.
Honestly, Verizon, I don't think they care. They're like, okay, I don't care. Put little David Malukas in that car. I don't. Really
who
care.
You're putting who in the car? I don't care. Take my money.
Take my shout out to Verizon. I can't believe I had cell service at the 500. Like, that was actually really impressive.
Yeah, apparently there's like a building they built around a cell tower at Indianapolis. I don't know where around the track it is, but there's apparently a weird building that they built around it, so it didn't look like an eyesore of just a cell tower there.
Oh,
yeah,
really? I didn't.
Yeah, there's a huge cell tower they've built around.
All right.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Whatever.
Thank you, everyone, for listening or watching to this episode. We have a kind comment this week. This is from Laishi on Spotify. They said, love the episode. This is from last week's. This podcast has become an essential listen for me every week. Super excited for the first guest episode, which, as we said, drops tomorrow. That is Nate Stewart. I'm so excited for everyone to hear that. Again, Patreon members can submit questions for guests at our $2 tier, and then for $5 a month you can get the episode early, which our Patreon members got that episode for about half a week over that.
And if you're listening right now and you're on our Patreon, you can check it right now and you'll see who our next guest is for next week's episode.
As soon as Zack hits stop recording, I'm posting it on Patreon.
Yep. So check that out. Yeah, very exciting month here. I'm very, very excited.
If you enjoyed today's episode, consider giving us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or liking and subscribing on YouTube. Follow us on socials at Gay Racing Pod on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And follow Zack and I at Dreamy Zack Racing and at Newgaden on Blue Sky and Twitter.
Yep. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Alex, for doing another episode with me.
Thank you, Zack.
I thanked Alex. Alex, you deserve the thanks. You put up with me every week. It's fine. I'm in a good mood. I'm living my best life. Got a new Nintendo Switch. I have a Mustang.
It's a good day.
NASCAR racing's not horrible. Prime. We didn't even glaze Prime that much.
Oh, we talked about it with their coverage of the fuel mileage stuff. Yeah, a little bit.
But I mean, nothing new to report. They are just, again, I am sad that it's going to be over after 2 races, because I feel like I'm just now really getting used to it.
I'm praying they're using the same people for TNT, the production side.
Yeah. Like the quality. I'm sure it will be. If the booth is the same, it's surely going to feel the same, I hope. Like, Steve's going to want that burn bar. If Steve gets in that TNT booth and he doesn't have his burn bar, he's going to be like, where's my burn bar? Give me my burn bar. What the hell are we doing? Honestly, wait, have you seen him talking to the Muppets?
I have, yeah.
I kind of love that. It's stupid and I love it. I'm getting used to it. Oh my gosh. We'll see y'all next week to talk about IndyCar. IndyCar's at Gateway, NASCAR's at Mexico, and then the 24 hours of Le Mans is happening, I believe.
Oh, wow. Stacked weekend. Yeah, that's
Jesus
right.
Lord. I don't even know if I'm watching Le Mans. I'll have it on playing Mario Kart World. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have busy week next week. So yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.